If someone told me that a simple invitation, just 4 words, would almost destroy my relationship, I would have laughed. But that was before the night my roommate looked at me and said, "Come sit with me." Not on the couch. Not in the kitchen. But in the bathroom. While he was in the bath. That was the moment everything shifted. When I moved into that small apartment, I told myself it was temporary, just until I saved enough to get a place of my own. Rent had gone up, my long-distance boyfriend Aaron had just started a demanding job, and I was spending more nights alone than I cared to admit. So the idea of living with a stranger felt fine. Just a practical choice. My roommate, Leon, was nothing like I expected. He wasn't messy. He wasn't loud. He wasn't the type to blast music or bring people over. He was, and I still remember the first impression, warm in a silent way. The kind of person who notices everything without drawing attention to himself. Did you eat today? You came home late. Everything okay? Not intrusive. Just attentive. A kind of attention I hadn't felt in months. Our apartment was small. A 2-bedroom place with thin walls and a bathroom that echoed when the faucet ran. Because of the space, we naturally crossed each other's paths constantly, mornings brushing past each other in the hallway, evenings cooking side by side, late nights sharing leftover food on the couch. Nothing romantic. Nothing intentional. Just 2 people slowly learning each other. But something about Leon made silence feel comfortable. Even enjoyable. I didn't realize how rare that was. One quiet evening, I came home drained. Work had been rough, Aaron hadn't returned my texts all day, and my head felt heavy. Leon noticed instantly. "You look exhausted," he said, leaning against the kitchen doorway with that half-smile he always wore. "I'm fine," I lied. He didn't push. He never pushed. Instead, he said a sentence that felt out of place in the most natural way possible. "I'm running a bath. If you want, come sit. I'll keep the door cracked. Company might help." I blinked. A bath? With him in it? I laughed awkwardly. "What? Like sit in the bathroom while you bathe?" He shrugged. "It's not that deep. The steam helps me relax, and you look like you need a break." It sounded harmless. Too harmless. I told myself he meant nothing by it. I told myself I was reading too much into it. I told myself that being in the same room wasn't a big deal. So I said, "Sure. Why not?" The bathroom was dim, lit only by a small warm bulb above the mirror. The tub was half filled, steam rising gently. Leon settled into the water, his shoulders barely visible above the surface. I sat on the closed toilet lid, leaning my back against the cool wall. "You don't have to look this way," he chuckled softly. "I'm not," I said too quickly, staring at the tile floor, pretending it was the most interesting thing I'd ever seen. We talked, and not the usual small talk. He told me about his breakup 4 months earlier. How his partner left suddenly. How quiet the apartment felt before I moved in. How loneliness becomes something you carry in your spine, not your heart. I had never heard him talk like that. His voice was softer, more vulnerable. At one point he asked, "Can you hand me the towel?" I stood up and, without turning, held it behind me. I felt him take it, felt the brief brush of his fingers against mine, and for a moment I forgot how to breathe. Then he said something I didn't expect. "You know, I feel safe around you." I didn't think I'd feel that way again. I froze. Was that just a confession of trust? Or something more? When he stepped out of the tub, wrapped in the towel, he looked at me with a softness that lasted a second too long. And that was the beginning of everything. The days after the bath were different. Not dramatically, just enough that I noticed. Leon would look at me a little longer. He'd smile for no reason. He'd brush past me, and it felt like electricity. Was I imagining it? Or was he feeling it too? Aaron and I barely talked those days. He was always busy, always tired, always apologizing for not calling. Our conversations became shorter, colder, routine. And each time I hung up, I felt the space between us widening. Leon sensed it. Of course he did. One rainy evening, the power went out. The whole apartment fell silent except for the storm outside. Leon lit 2 candles and placed one near me on the kitchen counter. "No distractions tonight," he joked. We sat across from each other, shadows flickering on our faces. It felt intimate. More intimate than it should have been. "Can I ask you something?" he said suddenly. "Sure." "What were you thinking that night? In the bathroom?" My stomach tightened. I wasn't thinking anything weird." He leaned forward, voice quiet. "You hesitated." I felt heat rush into my face. "So did you." Silence. Heavy, charged silence. Finally, he whispered, "I didn't invite you there by accident." The air shifted. I swallowed. "I'm with someone." He looked down. "I know. I'm not trying to mess anything up. But I can't pretend I don't feel something." I opened my mouth to speak, but the words got stuck in my throat. He continued, "You don't have to say it back. Just, don't lie to me. Tell me you didn't feel anything." I couldn't, because I had felt something. Something warm, something dangerous, something that shouldn't have been there. I said nothing. And silence was its own confession. Leon moved around the counter and sat beside me. Not touching, just close enough that I felt his warmth. The candlelight made everything look softer. His eyes. His expression. His sadness. "I'm not asking for anything," he said quietly. "I just want to know if I'm crazy." "You're not," I whispered. He closed his eyes like he had been holding that breath forever. For a moment, for a dangerously long moment, it felt like we might cross a line we could never return from. His hand twitched, like it wanted to reach for mine. My heart raced, like it wanted me to let him. But I didn't move. "Leon," I whispered. He looked at me, and in that look, I saw everything he wasn't saying. "I can't," I said. His jaw tightened. Not in anger, in heartbreak. He nodded slowly. "I understand." He stood up, blew out the candle, and walked to his room. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because of guilt, not exactly, but because part of me wondered what would have happened if I hadn't said no. And that question was the most dangerous part of all. The next morning, the air between us felt cold. Not resentful, just fragile. Leon avoided eye contact. I avoided breathing too loudly. We danced around each other like strangers. Aaron called around noon, his voice warm but distant. "Hey babe, sorry I've been off. Work's killing me." I tried to sound normal. I failed. "What's wrong?" he asked. "Nothing," I lied. But he didn't buy it. "You're acting weird. Did something happen?" My chest tightened. Not telling him felt wrong. Telling him everything felt impossible. Later that night, Leon approached me quietly. "Can we talk?" We sat on opposite ends of the couch, safer that way. He spoke first. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said what I said. I shouldn't have put you in that position." "You didn't force anything," I replied. "I made choices too." He looked at me with a sad smile. "You're a good guy. Too good. That's why it hurts." I inhaled deeply. "I care about you. I really do. But what happened? We crossed emotional lines. And that's not fair to anyone." His voice cracked a little. "So what now?" "We set boundaries," I said. "Real ones." He nodded, eyes glistening, quickly blinking it away. The next day, I called Aaron again, this time telling the truth, though not the whole story. "I've been feeling disconnected," I admitted. "Lonely. And I let myself get close to someone here. Nothing happened, but I don't want to hide that." There was silence on the line. A long, heavy silence. Finally, Aaron said, "Thank you for telling me. We'll figure this out. But we need to work on us." He wasn't angry. He wasn't shouting. His voice was soft, hurt, but willing. After the call, I sat in my room for a long time. Then I walked to Leon's door and knocked gently. He opened it, tired eyes meeting mine. "I talked to Aaron," I said. He swallowed. "Are you okay?" "I think I will be." We had a long, honest conversation. About loneliness. About attraction. About boundaries. About healing. When it ended, we hugged. A brief, careful hug. The kind that said both goodbye and thank you. Life returned to normal after that, slowly, like a wound closing. We stayed friends. Real friends. But with walls that protected both of us. And sometimes, late at night, I'd think about that moment, that night by the candlelight, and wonder what would have happened if I hadn't said no. But I always came back to the same truth. Emotional infidelity is still infidelity. And sometimes the hardest temptation isn't touch, it's connection. The story didn't end with betrayal. It ended with honesty. And sometimes, that's the braver ending.